So I just got this battery recovered back to 23 volts. It was 8 volts this morning, which means it's completely dead because this is a 24 volt battery. I'm gonna talk about why I got it dead and how to avoid that. So it's all about the low voltage cutoff that I have on this Growatt 3000. The low voltage cutoff was set too low. So when you have 8 volts coming out of these batteries, it's not enough to start the inverter, or it's not enough to start even the MPPT, so it won't charge. So if it gets below below a certain voltage, like 20 volts, it's dead, because this thing is dead, so it can't recover itself from solar. So first of all, to mitigate, to get these back online, I had to plug in a single solar panel to this. I have 24 volt solar panel, so it's compatible. And even though on the voltmeter it was putting out 30 volts, that's still okay. And it was able to charge these batteries. So now I'm gonna hook it up and I'll show you what I'm gonna change to avoid this draining to such a low voltage. Okay, so I have it connected and the all-in-one box got started and it's charging. This is the default screen. I could see the voltage slowly climbing, 24.1, 24.2. So that's good. Inverter is also on. So I don't have much connected to it, but I have a little network switch and an antenna, ubiquity antenna connected for the network. And I had a laptop charging as well overnight, so I don't think that's what drained it, because it must have hit the low voltage cutoff and turned off the inverter, but there was so little left in the batteries that they drained it by themselves. So they do lose power over time. It's fully charged. This is a 2 kilowatt capacity, wired in parallel. I had it fully charged and I left it for a year, and it wasn't enough to discharge it within a year. They kept their good voltage, and when I connected it, they started. But last night I had the low voltage cutoff set to a pretty low number, the default, which I think is 21 volts. We'll double check. And I think that was enough to get these guys below the limit, because they were right around 0 charge, and that's why they just drained themselves to 8 volts. So let's go over here to the chart for the battery. This is the PDF for this type of battery, for exact model and number. I guess make and model. So so we were down here at 21, and that means 100% discharge. So it was very close to having nothing left in the battery, and then it just went to 0. But so I'll use this window to point to the X and Y axes. So 21 is right here. So these are different temperatures. So at minus 10 Celsius would have been 80%. If it was a little warmer, it'd be somewhere in 90. So anywhere from 80 to all the way discharged, it would have been at this 21 volts. But you see, even if I raise it to 22 or 23 volts, it doesn't change that much. So like at 23 volts, the 10 minus 10 Celsius would have discharged it, would have been at, well, okay, let's go like this. Let's just cut the whole thing across at 23. So we're talking about this range from here to here. So that's anywhere from 70 something percent to 99%. So that's not a big difference. So we're talking about going from 80 something to 100 versus 75 to 99. So what I'm saying is, let's just set it to 23 and be done with it. Then the battery will still have enough room to sit by itself with the inverter turned off and not fully drain. So now we're gonna fix the low voltage cutoff. This is the default screen, but I'm gonna use this program number 21, which is the low DC cutoff voltage, and it's by default at 21, which is way too low, as we figured out from the chart and from the 2 nights of draining. And I'm going to change that to 23. So the way to do it is I'll press enter and hold it for a couple seconds. That goes into the settings, and then I keep going down till I get to program 21. There's no way to turn off this beeping on this model, but here I tried setting it to 21.1, which was way not much different than 21, so it's still drained. So now I'm gonna press enter, hold it for 2 seconds, and then enter again to get to the first digit, then up that to 23, and I'm also gonna change the 10th to be 0, so it just looks nice, 23, and press enter. Oh, and it didn't get set, so this is kind of weird. So 23, I can't set it to 23, but if I look at this manual, there's a range. It says it could go from 20 to 24. So the program 21 can go from 20 volts to 24. So let me try setting it to 22.9. Something's a little weird here. So I'll press enter. So then go to 22.9 and enter. Yeah, now I think it's stayed. All right, so press down, press up. There, it stays at 22.9. So this is going to be a decent cutoff. All right, so this is how to prevent the batteries from draining all the way